This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
I am a conservative. I am a far-right conservative. I am a free market, libertarian-leaning conservative. In today's political parlance, I'm on the right, and I say this: if you're not in 2024, I gave that all as background just to remind everybody of who the fuck I am politically. I am a hard right, libertarian, free market, limited government loving conservative, right? And I say that right now in the year 2024, if anybody doesn't support whoever the Democratic nominee is for president, then they are putting their own interests ahead of the country's interests. Because here's what we know. Here's what we know right now at this moment in time in America. Donald Trump is going to be the Republican Party nominee. Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy. In 2020, he led a violent attempt to try to overthrow an American election. For the first time in American history, a sitting American president refused to accept an election loss, refused to participate in the peaceful transfer of power, refused to accept the will of the people, and then tried to overturn the will of the people. If he's elected again in 2024, our democracy is done. He's a career criminal. He has absolutely no respect for the rule of law. He believes he's above the law. He's a traitor. He is humanly incapable of putting the interest of this country ahead of his own. He doesn't know the Constitution. He doesn't understand it. He's never read it. He wants to burn it down. He's a direct threat to our Constitution. Therefore, our only political mission in this country in 2024 is to make sure he's not reelected. Is to make sure that threat to our democracy, to the rule of law, to our country, to our Constitution is never, ever, ever in the White House again. To do that, to keep that threat out of the White House, we're all obligated. If you care about democracy, if you care about the rule of law, if you care about our Constitution, if you care about our country, we are then all obligated to vote for the only person who can beat Trump. The only person. And in America today, the only person who can keep Donald Trump out of the White House is whoever the Democratic nominee is. Nobody else can get elected. The only two people who can get elected in 2024 and become president in 2024 are the Democratic nominee and the Republican nominee. You want a third party, you want a fourth party, you want to reform everything, you want an independent, you want a wealthy independent, you want all of that, right? You want somebody else besides a Republican and a Democrat to become president, fine. I'd love that too. That ain't going to fucking happen in 2024. We are miles away from that right now. According to reality, right now, the only person who can keep Trump out of the White House is the Democratic nominee. Right now, nobody else. Right now, it's impossible for anybody else, any independent, any third, fourth, fifth, sixth party candidate to get elected. So therefore, if you care about our democracy, the rule of law, the Constitution, and the country, you will do everything politically in your power this next year to help elect the Democratic nominee. I'm far right, homeless, Tea Party, conservative, libertarian, and that's what I'm pledged to do. That's what I did in 2020. Hell, I tried to primary Trump in 2020, and when that fell on its face, I was all in no matter who the Democratic nominee is. I say all of this because I don't give a damn who or what you are politically. If you care about our democracy, our country, our rule of law in our country, this is what you will do. You'll support the Democratic nominee. I'm just so pissed off. Jill Stein announced yesterday she's running for president again. Green Party. Let's be really clear. Jill Stein is putting her own interest ahead of the country's interest. Jill Stein, by running for president and not supporting the Democratic nominee, is helping to reelect Donald Trump. Joe Manchin came out yesterday. West Virginia senator, and said he's not running for reelection. Joe Manchin's talking about running for president as an independent. Let's be very clear. Joe Manchin is putting his own interest ahead of the country's interest. Joe Manchin knows everything that I know. He knows the threat Trump is. Yet Joe Manchin can't and won't say right now he's all in for whoever the Democratic nominee is. He might run as a third party candidate. Just call it what it is. These are selfish moves. Shame on them. Shame on Cornel West and Jill Stein and Joe Manchin and Dean Phillips and all these people who can't just take their own interests, their own ambitions, put them to the side, and do what you have to do to help save our democracy. Very little pisses me off more than this, and maybe it's because 5 to 6 years ago, that's what I did. I said, fuck it. Fuck my career, fuck my own personal ambitions, fuck money, fuck everything. I'm going to do what I can to help save this country and defend this democracy. And so I get really angry when people don't do this. We all, no matter who we are politically, we all have to be all in and support the Democratic nominee, no matter who it is. And after 2024, after we defeat Donald Trump and keep him out of the White House, we can then begin to talk about reforms, because our political system desperately needs reforms. But right now, our political system desperately needs to keep that son of a bitch existential threat out of the White House. Period. Suck it up. Put your country first, Joe Manchin. Have a good weekend, everybody. My email, joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. That's all one word. Reach out, contact me, joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. Have a blessed weekend. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.